Now is all emergency personnel. We've got county, we've got city, we've got Red Cross, Texas. Local crews have been hard at work since the crisis began Saturday.
The water's gone over the riverbanks here. Just so you know if you guys are keep an eye on it.
State and federal agencies also still.
Oh!
Have been chasing after the past 3 months.
No! I got Get That's you!
Let them know exactly where they are. Like, you're not home anymore. This is the Marine Corps. You're going to do what we say, when we say, and how we say to do
it. There were no parades for the Vietnam veterans when they came home, or thank yous. But that changed for many Vietnam veterans who flew on the Texas Permian Basin Honor Flight. It was a time for healing. Many of the Vietnam veterans with tears in their eyes paid a visit to the memorial and placed a wreath in remembrance of their brothers who did not come home. It was a somber moment.
It's an honor, a real honor flight.
Come on, girls! And this is actually our first year that we have held recruitment.
You have to have good endurance, legs cramped.
To me, when you fall, it sounds a lot worse than what it is because of all the gear that we have on. It's fun. It's actually fun to fall.
Yeah, it is actually fun to fall.
Yeah.
Well, people are loving it. They're saying thank you. They can't believe that we're actually doing it. They're really impressed with it.
I've actually had some people to talk to me that have received, and they just said, you know, it just made them feel so good that they passed it on to someone else.
It's kind of surprising, I guess, that somebody just kind of hands it to you. So, yes, it makes you feel really good.
We love giving back to the community every day.
Today we're at HEB Inside giving gift cards away to help people pay for their groceries.
Hi, sir, ma'am. My name is Terry, and we're doing a program for Pay It Forward, and I would like to give you a gift card today to help you pay for the groceries you're buying.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And they just go out in the community and do random acts of kindness. But it's also about team building and keeping ourselves humble and being thankful for what we have in our life. And one way to do that is to go out and help other people so we can all appreciate what we have in our lives.
It makes you know that you need to pay it forward all the time, you know, because you never know when you're going to be in that situation.
He said he wanted to build a telescope big enough to peer into the very gates of heaven to see if there's anyone there.
About 75 years ago, a Texas banker left the bulk of his fortune to build an astronomical observatory. And today, the McDonald Observatory in Fort Davis draws more than 67,000 visitors each year.
Today, it's one of the premier astronomical research facilities in the world. We have the largest telescope in North America. It'll soon be tied for second largest in the world.
The observatory is located in a remote corner of West Texas, and it pays off, with impressive views of the Milky Way and a glimpse of the heavens millions of miles away.
This location in West Texas is great. We're on top of Mount Locke at 6,800 feet.
And those very dark skies over Fort Davis is what drives the economy.
And we need the dark skies here so that the tourists that come to visit Fort Davis and go to the observatory.
Here at the McDonald Observatory in Fort Davis, too much light, it makes it harder to see.
That was the brightest thing in our sky, was El Paso. Now the northern horizon up toward Midland, Odessa, the Permian Basin area is, over the past 4 years, has just lit up.
More drilling across the basin is causing a glare on the horizon, impacting the view of the night sky.
First, it's kind of like, what? It's not on their radar. It's not something they even think about. The oil industry's been lighting their job. They've been lighting their work the same way for 100 years. It's 10% technology. It's 90% education and awareness. Most people just don't think about how they light at night.
We even took to the skies to see the lights from rigs that now glow 24/7 in an otherwise empty landscape.
That's kind of a common misconception, is that this is an anti-light campaign. We are in favor of good lighting, which is basically keeping light on the ground where you want it to see what you need to see at night and not wasting it up into the night sky.
The problem in the area with the oil industry is relatively new, but the counties around the observatory have been helping protect the dark skies for years.
With the ordinance per se, helps us work with people to not turn off their lights at night, but to shield them in such a way that it doesn't impact dark skies.
Bill Wren with the McDonald Observatory is working with various oil companies on ways to keep the glow to a minimum. Examples include shields around lighting to reduce glare.
We are encouraging people to use light fixtures that are designed to put the light where you want it so you can see well at night and keep the skies dark.
We talked with Aaron Hunter with the Society of Petroleum Engineers. He explained that most in the oil industry are not aware of the problem.
Our lights can be seen all the way down into Fort Davis. It's kind of a big deal, and if people realize that, and if they look at where the light's pointing, if they look at where their own light's pointing, they'll be more aware of where it's going.
He said there are solutions that would work well for both stargazers and the oil industry.
So if we can just tilt our lights down towards the ground to light up what we really need to light up, number one, it provides more light on the ground and makes it safer, and we're not putting any light up in the sky.
Dark skies are disappearing across the nation, and many children have never seen the stars. Take a look at this picture from 1908 in Los Angeles, and then again in 2008.
Some of the darkest skies left for any major observatory in the world, certainly in North America.
For the McDonald Observatory, they hope that by shining some light on the issue, the skies can stay dark in West Texas for generations to come.
So cost efficiency, reducing glare, better visibility at night, and oh, by the way, it just happens to keep the skies dark.
With photojournalist Adrian Escajeda, I'm Haley Burks for CBS7 News.
We're going to ride from here in Midland, Texas to Fairbanks, Alaska, and that's our destinations right there.
About 4,000 mile trip.
It's going to take about 3 weeks.
A year and a half of planning. And this father and son pair are ready to hit the road. A trip few motorcyclists actually take.
There's always this big dream trip all the motorcyclists talk about doing, and this is one of them.
Over the years, riding motorcycles has always been a family pastime for the Gwynns.
Every Wednesday we go out to a motocross track.
However, riding is more than just a hobby on two wheels. It's how this pair connect.
Over the years, that's been our activity together.
I don't think I'd be who I was today if I didn't ride dirt bikes with them.
Gwynn says he's learned a lot about life on two wheels. On those same wheels, he's ready for a trip of a lifetime.
I would like to walk and run without pain. I would like to learn to ride a bike. I used to ride a bike as a kid. I'd like to relearn how to do that. I would like to just be active, really. I mean, it all boils down to being active again and doing things that are painful for me now and doing things that are more difficult for me now, doing them with ease and doing them comfortable, knowing that I'm not going to fall or I'm not going to badly injure myself because of my disability.
Sometimes there's things a man cannot know.
Well, when I knew I was disabled and when my parents knew was kind of a different thing.
I think really what I noticed was he's about 6 months old. He wasn't sitting up like kids his age were. And I think it was about 11 months when he was really diagnosed as having the cerebral palsy. It was devastating, but he just looked so perfect in our eyes. It was devastating, but then again, I just felt like he was going to do okay, and we would get through whatever we needed to get through, and he would be okay.
Lauren is one of the most supportive people, if not the most supportive person I've ever had in my life when it comes to my disability.
The thing I've always loved the most about John is his sense of humor, and he's good to me, and he's very kind and good and helpful. And
when Lauren first brought up the surgery, I thought to myself, I don't need that. I'm John, and that should be good enough.
I was reading through the criteria, and I thought, wow, this sounds like something that John would be the perfect candidate for.
And it took me a while to realize that ultimately the way I am right now won't be the way I am forever, because it's just going to get worse.
I want him to be able to live life to the fullest, and I believe that the surgery will allow him to have a lot of opportunities to just experience life and everything it has to offer.
I won't be able to walk around the house. Maybe I won't be able to stand up without being in extreme pain all over, and it scared me. Well, a selective dorsal rhizotomy is where they make an incision in my lower back, and they actually go into the spinal cord area, and they test a series of sensory nerve roots to see which ones are the tightest, which ones create the most severe reaction, and they cut them.
Until I started looking into it, obviously I was a little bit like, I don't know, cutting the nerves and going into your spine, that sounds really kind of dangerous, and you think getting paralyzed or different things could happen.
Well, after surgery, I have 6 months of rehab at about 4 to 5 days a week. They take it down to 3 to 4 days a week for another 6 months, and then for another year or two after that, they still expect you to have some physical therapy and or personal training. The rehab with my insurance, I'll be covered for about 35 days of rehab, fully covered for that. And then after that, it's 100% on us at $100 a session. Thank you, sir. It's one thing to know that people care about you and to know that people are thinking and praying about you, and it's another thing for them to come out and show it. And I can't express the gratitude I have for the people who are in my life that are willing to do that.
I think it says the world about John. I mean, all this, his family support, friend support, the community here. I think it's really awesome, and John deserves it.
I don't think I can ever be ready for it. I think that even now I kind of have this impending sense of wondering what it's going to be like, and all I've known is what I have right now. I think that it's a realistic goal that I won't have to use my wheelchair again. At least not for a very long time.
I will have such joy for him. I mean, it's just like almost unimaginable, because it's been such a long road for him. But I'll have such joy, and I'll be so excited for him. I just really can't even put it into words. I really can't.
I'll be there for him when he wakes up, and that I believe everything will be okay, and that he's going to do great. So.
And I think I will tell you how much I love you, and that everything's going to be okay, and that God has a plan, and it's great, and He'll really bless us through this.